Welcome back. Today we will be responding to a video that I found quite alarming on the internet some time ago. Uh, it's a debate in regards to chivalry. Uh, as a young man growing up in the South, the individuals who were mentors to me, the men who played a significant part in my life, they always emphasized the need to be chivalrous, opening doors for women, making sure that they are able to step over puddles of water. If there's something that's heavy and difficult to carry, we would carry it. If it was raining, we would give women our coats so that they could, stay dry during the rain. Whatever happened to all that? Well, in our video today, it's going to discuss what really happened and what is the reaction of most women to the fact that chivalry no longer exists. Well, I won't say it doesn't exist. I'll say it's in short supply. Let's look at the video and find out.
Ladies, has anything like this ever happened to you? Watch.
It's open. It's open.
I don't go out on dates with guys who don't open the door for me.
Really?
Really?
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh, man.
No, he didn't.
Well, according to a recent survey by Match.com, 73% of women believe that chivalry is dead. And according to one of our next guests, she explains in her new op-ed, it's because women killed it. Suzanne Venker is a columnist and an author of The Alpha Female's Guide to Men and Marriage. And joining her to discuss is Wendy Acefo, a professor at Johns Hopkins University and a Democratic strategist. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Good morning.
Okay, so Suzanne, you wrote this op-ed. Wendy, I know you've read it. I've read it. And you compare a telegram that was sent to a woman right before she got married to a Facebook video. The first one I want to read is back in the day. Back in 1954, your friend, her mother just recently died. Your friend was going through a memorabilia. She finds this telegram, and it says, this is the husband writing it to his soon-to-be wife. Darling, I shall be waiting for you at 8 with a lifetime of expectancy. My heart will be coming with you down the aisle. May God be with us tonight as we pray we will always be with him. Thank you for becoming my wife. My love forever yours, Henry. Then several days later, Suzanne, you saw on Facebook this video where this person was saying chivalry is harmful to both men and women because it reinforces this idea that women need to be helped or saved by a stronger man, and it takes away a woman's agency.
Okay, let's stop right there. That's a lot to take in, a lot to digest. When you look at the letter that was written in 1954, do you get the idea that this man is somehow taking away from his soon-to-be bride? He's somehow taking away some respect or dignity that she has in regards to his relationship with her. Do you get that feeling? Or do you get the feeling that this man is expressing his value for his soon-to-be bride? The emotions that are involved in that letter clearly spell out that the man is in anticipation of marrying this woman, and together they'll form a union with God, and they'll live happily ever after. That's his concern. If it was demeaning to her, if it was somehow diminishing the power that she has in the relationship, you're going to have to show me where that is. Because the greatest expression of love and affection that a man can give a woman is his giving her his last name and making sure that he loves, provides, and protects for her. Let's keep going.
So you saw these two contrasts, and you decided to write the op-ed. Explain that a little for us.
Sure. So it just struck me as just, wow. I mean, the stark contrast between this beautiful letter that really moved me to seeing this message from this woman basically selling the same tired message that men have been hearing for decades, which is, I can do it by myself, I'm strong enough, you don't need to hold the door open for me, you don't need to pay my way, you don't need to, basically anything that's sort of traditionally male and female in terms of the courtship is just gone. And after so many years of hearing that, my argument is that men have effectively said, okay, well, you said you don't want it, so I guess I'm not supposed to do it, and if I do it, then you're going to be insulted. So they're really lost and confused about what it is that women want, and I think women are just as confused because they've been sold this message that chivalry is bad or somehow destructive to women, when of course it's not at all. And so we have a problem.
Wendy?
Okay, so now on the left-hand side, Miss Suzanne, she's talking, she's speaking, she is spitting all facts. I've talked to some young men that are confused as to what they should do. There are moments where they feel like they should be chivalrous, and then they're rejected, and then there's moments that they're expected to be chivalrous, and that they don't respond to. They are absolutely confused. They don't know what to do, as opposed to a time when men knew that it was their responsibility to take care of the woman that they are with. Now, in this particular instance, she's talking about courting. For my purposes, I'm strictly talking about a man and a woman who are married. Now, you can be chivalrous to a certain degree to women that are around you if you feel like that's necessary. You can be chivalrous to a degree. But just like Miss Suzanne mentioned, a lot of women take it as an insult. You open the door for them, they don't say thank you. You do other chivalrous things and you don't get a response. And in some cases, they don't want you to do it for them. So maybe chivalry is dead. Let's keep going.
What do you think? Are we to blame women?
I wouldn't go as far as to say that women kill chivalry. Whether you look at from Cardi B to Beyonce or work.
Whoa, hold on. Flag on the play. Are we really interjecting Cardi B into this situation? I don't think this is a good start, but I'll let her finish.
Working moms like myself or even countless others, what we have done is we have evolved the conversation of what it means to be a woman in today's society. And what that means is, we're doing it all. And it basically means that men have to basically rise to the occasion to meet us where we are. We are not, the mothers of our past, and there was nothing wrong with that. But we are getting our arms involved in a lot of things, and we're busy doing and juggling millions of things. So chivalry is not dead in the essence of we don't want men to open doors for us. But what we are saying is, you have to handle us, and you have to handle our full-time job as well.
Okay. So now, you just mentioned, or you just heard what Miss Wendy was speaking about. So the idea of what a woman is has evolved according to her, right? It has evolved, and that evolution has taken on characteristics of naturally what a male would do. And most of the things that she describes, she's talking about protecting and providing. So, just a question. If an individual is already protected and provided for, do they need someone to come in and do that for them? See, that's where the dissonance occurs. That's where people get confused, because your whole life you're raised to believe one thing, and then when you actually get out into the world, what you believe is something totally different. That's why it's so confusing. And then she's talking about full-time jobs and juggling thousands of things. I don't know a woman, and I could be wrong, I don't know a woman that wants to juggle the responsibilities that are better suited to a man. Most women I know, that if ever there is an individual who comes into their life and he comes in as a protector and a provider, they naturally slide into the more feminine role of caring for the household and the responsibilities involved in that. They would rather have an individual go out and work and face the world and then bring back the resources that the family needs, and then they take those resources and turn that house into a home. Let's keep going.
Yeah, you make a good point in this op-ed, Suzanne. You talk about how it's not that we can't open our own doors. It's not that we can't pay for our own food, but you say that does it show a sign of respect, or like why is it important to let a woman do those things?
Right. So what's been lost in this whole 40-year experiment, really, or progress, however you want to define it, is the yin and yang, or the dance between women and men. And men and women now are completely confused and lost about who's supposed to do what, who wants what, and what women specifically are confused about is men, and how that is in their DNA to provide and protect women. That is who they are. That is their identity. And we've essentially ripped it out of them. And when they become unmoored. I mean, if you don't let them do what's in them to do, you're going to disrupt that dance. And so what I'm trying to say is, look, masculinity and femininity are wonderful things in and of themselves. And when they work in tandem, sparks fly. I mean, it's awesome, but we're not allowing that to happen because we are infused with this message about equality, this idea that men and women are the same when they are not. And so that gesture of holding the door open, I was just using as one example, is not men trying to oppress women. It's they want to please them, they want to take care of them, they want to show them honor, really. And we knew this in the past. Everybody knew this, and this has gotten completely lost in the last 40 years. You can see that in that telegram, how deeply that was felt and understood. And women today want that. You read that telegram, who would not want that, right?
Yeah,
but how are we going to get there if we, I mean, it's just,
Wendy,
we've got to get back to understanding.
So now before Ms. Wendy speaks, Ms. Suzanne makes powerful points. I said that on one of my earlier videos. Masculinity, femininity. And if a man is doing his best to be masculine in a positive way, we're talking about a positive provider, a positive protector, an individual who is open to counsel, he's open to different views, different thought patterns, suggestions that may come from his spouse. He's open to that, but at the same time, he's continually pushing forward and making a way for his family. And then you have the woman who is positively feminine, and she is there as a support. She's helping the whole household to maintain their emotional stability. She's warm, she's comforting. She, as we mentioned, takes a house and turns it into a home. And then you put the two together and you have an unstoppable couple. Because now, whatever difficulties he has, she offsets. Whatever difficulties she has, he offsets. Do you see how the two can work together? That's what Ms. Wendy's saying. But I want you to notice something. We don't usually talk about this on these videos, but if you look at Ms. Wendy's body language, look at Ms. Wendy's body language as Ms. Suzanne is talking. There's eye rolling, she's flinching at certain points. She thoroughly does not disagree with the concept of what Ms. Wendy is saying is a woman. She feels like that's outdated. In this particular interview, Dave said traditional several times. It's outdated, it's from the past, it's something. And then you even hear the term that we are not our mothers. But then you hear them say there's nothing wrong with that. Well, if it was nothing wrong with the way that women approached their femininity in the past and it worked, we have concrete evidence that it worked. Go back to your grandmother and grandfather. Go back to your great-grandmama and your great-grandfather. There were marriages that those individuals were involved in were strong. You could depend on the fact that they were going to be there and they were going to be together. And if there was anyone in the family that was having marital problems, those individuals would counsel them and help them get their marriage back on track. You don't see that today. You don't see that today because people have gotten away from what's traditional. They've gotten away from it. So let's see what will be the reply on Ms. Wendy's end.
Wendy, do you think if we're all, I've heard it said that we are created the same. I mean, we are both equally as important, but created differently in our needs and our wants.
Right.
Do you agree with that?
I agree with that to some extent. And as a wife and as a mother of 2 little boys, I believe that the strength of a woman is also what makes men respect us even more. We are not necessarily damsels in distress here. We can open doors for ourselves. We can do things for ourselves. And we welcome men to also open doors for us as well. But it's okay for a woman to be strong. It's okay for a woman to be independent. That in no way negates a man's masculinity at all.
All right, ladies, thank you.
I couldn't agree more.
All right. Wendy, Suzanne, great to see you.
okay.
We'll just have to have you back. We'll continue the
That's okay.
conversation later.
Okay.
Thanks, ladies.
Okay, so let's weigh in on what we learned. The final thoughts by Miss Wendy is that those things that involve chivalry, women can do them for themselves, but they're open to men doing it. So now in this situation, you can't have them both. Can't have them both. Because if you're doing it for yourself, then no one has to assist you. No one has to. But if you are truly feminine, then there will never be a problem with a man coming to your assistance. There'll never be a problem with a man coming to your aid. I've seen gentlemen stop on the street and help a woman change her tire if it's flat. I've seen gentlemen who are loading their groceries into their car assist women who may be having difficulty loading theirs. See, as far as men are concerned, we are never beyond assisting those that need it. If you are truly a gentleman, which I consider myself to be, and most of the guys that I know, but here's the thing. If we pick up on the, maybe the mannerisms that you have that suggest that you don't need no man, then hey, we'll make ourselves little. We'll get out the way. But I think that in this conversation, I have to agree with what Miss Suzanne mentioned. Truly masculine, truly feminine, put in tandem, sparks fly. Things happen. Because we're talking about a situation that could build a family, and then that family could go on to pass riches and wealth and everything else to the next generation. So the two qualities have to be there for the children to have a balanced view of what mom should do and what dad should do. As I mentioned, we're not talking about roles here. We're talking about individuals taking upon themselves different things in the family that they would be more suited to, just so that the family can thrive and continue to move in the positive direction. But as I mentioned now, Miss Wendy and her mannerisms, she was opposed to anything that she thought was traditional, because she is under the belief that that is taking women backward. And in some cases that may be true, but if you're trying to look at the situation and analyze it, what works? The modern woman's approach to marriage and children, does that work? Or was it a better outcome and situation for individuals in the past who handled it traditionally? I tell you what, the proof is in the outcome. It's in the outcome. So we thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you very much. Be easy.